Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for coming on this morning. We are on to day 27 of our Business Growth Action Plan Challenge. And today we're talking about AI. We're jumping into AI. We have not forgotten it. And so, if you have a business or you know someone who has a business and you know that this conversation about AI has been ongoing and you believe that they could do with an AI strategy, this is a life for them. Please go ahead and share. And if you're new here, I am Michelle O'Connor, your business growth strategist. Now, we have been going, today's day 27, and our aim for these 30 days was to give you bite-sized pieces that you can implement on a daily basis that will see you developing your business growth plan for 2026 before the holidays. And we've gone on strong. We're now at day 27, and the holidays is next week if you celebrate Christmas. And I hope that you have been doing the homework each day and applying it and asking your questions. So 2026 catches you very prepared. Now, I wanted to have a conversation about AI because I think what's happening to a lot of companies is that they are seeing all these new inventions, they're seeing all these applications, and you can easily get excited and distracted at the same time. And I don't want that for you. I want you to remember that there's always a very structured way to implement something new into your business. Now, when we had the internet revolution, one of the things that happened, well, my experience at that time was there was training. You were trained on how to use what, which application the company is going to be using, which one we're not going to be using, firewalls were set up, you name it. I think that we're still in that phase of trying to figure out AI, and I want to help you to stay ahead of the game because whether you accept it or not, persons in your organization are using AI and you want it to be used in a way that drives your organization forward and not just create more chaos. So, what does this look like? And I'm going to walk you through how you can go about doing that in a few. Now, as having a conversation with a financial controller of a medium sized financial entity last week, and one of the things that she was surprised by is the analysis of the financial statements that she got from chat because she has not been using it. Now, if your organization doesn't start now, what you're going to find is people are going to be using different tools in a way that doesn't serve your company, if you understand what I'm saying. So I want to, and why I use that example, she's an executive in an organization and she had no idea that AI could help with this, and so those are some of the things that you want to prevent. You want to get ahead of the game. And I'm going to walk you through that as well. So again, thank you so much for coming on. As usual, please go ahead and share your questions if you have them in the comment field, and we will take them as we go through and share this live with someone. All right, let's jump into it. So we're on to day 27, and we're talking about developing your company-wide strategy. Now, I want you to remember that AI is a strategic capability. It's not a technological experiment. We're not trying a tool to see if it works. So I don't want you to be asking your team the question. They completed a task. Did you use AI to do this? Did you get assistance from AI? It is a strategic capability. And if you look at it as a strategic capability, it means that you are making preparations to use it. You are seeing how it will impact your organization and you are making a plan for it, which is why we're having this conversation today. So I want you to always remember that. Your aim is not to use more tools. Your aim is to make strategic choices. You can easily drown in the number of AI tools that exist, and that's not what you want to do. You want to make decisions that's going to move your organization forward. You want to ask yourself a question: where does AI materially improve how you're doing things? So is it creating value for us? Is it reducing risk? Is it helping us to scale? Those are some questions that you want to ask yourself as you're thinking about any kind of new application that you're going to be using. And I want to say this, that without an intentional approach to using AI, what you end up with is a lot of noise and a lot of confusion, which I am finding that a lot of persons are in. They come, did you hear about this new application? Did you hear about this new tool? No. What is it helping you to do? How is it creating value? I can think back in my corporate days, I would have loved Perplexity. Perplexity is the tool that helps you with presentation. I would have loved Perplexity to be out, because then I would just be able to give it all my information, because we did a lot of presentations, and workshops and stuff within the organization. So I would have loved for Perplexity to be out. It would have saved a lot of time. So where is it creating value? You want to ask yourself that question. I want you to also remember that AI is not a list of tools. We're not just sitting in a meeting and somebody says, "Hey, have you heard about this tool? Let's jump on it." No, it's not. You're, as an organization, you're not looking for a list of tools. It's not a one-time implementation. Persons aren't operating in silos and doing their own thing. You would have had a very complete strategic decision about how you want to create value. And we're going to go into that in a few, and everyone knows what they're working on and what tools the organization is doing. And we're also, and this is important because we're going to also touch on governance. You're not trying to let teams figure it out as they go, again being intentional. And we're going to be touching on governance, because you don't want to roll things out without considering the impact that is going to have on your organization. So what is an AI strategy? It has a few categories. You have generative AI. Okay, you're talking about this is where we're talking about your content analysis and decision making. You have automation and workflow AI. So you can think about your entire onboarding process as an example, and you're using AI to improve that, or you're using AI to automate that in some way. And that now enhances how you deliver, reduces the bottlenecks, and also improve the customer experience. Predictive analysis, I shared earlier about financial statements. If you are going to your board, and one of the challenges that you have every time you have a board meeting is that the financial analysis is late. Maybe the input is complete, but now you need to be able to read the data. While you read, or you can eyeball the numbers and you have an idea about what the numbers are telling you, you can use AI to help with that predictive conversation. Now that we have the number, what's next and how will it impact us in the future? What do we need to make up? You name it. One of my clients, we were meeting with her accountant yesterday, and she had done a financial analysis. I really thought that this analysis came from the accountant, only to be told in the meeting that this was done by AI, but it was really good. Then again, it comes back to, you want to know, or you need to know the prompts, garbage in, garbage out. You want to train your team so they understand how to communicate with AI, so you're getting the information that you need. So it's not an experiment, as I shared earlier, and you're not just operating in silos. And we're going to get into how you can get that done. AI enabled customer experience, and I'm putting experience and not service, simply because I don't want you to think of just having an automated voice responding to your clients. But when you think about the experience that you want your customers to have, you're developing and using AI in a way that doesn't make the experience more cumbersome. So for me, whenever I see a chatbot, the first thing I'm asking for, can I speak to a human? Because I don't think that a lot of organization has thought about the experience side of it. It's just, oh, this tool is out there, they can respond to your clients, or let's implement a chatbot. No, think about the experience that you want your customers to have, and then when you add the tool, it's supposed to enhance it and not create more confusion. Thank you so much for joining. And if you're joining now, we're talking about developing an AI strategy for your organization. And if at any point in time you'd love to have a conversation with me, or you have any questions, you can go ahead and drop those questions in the comment field. And it's also, so it's enhancing your customer experience, and it's helping you to make intelligent decision and reporting, right? So those are some things you want to think of. Now, the future of AI in your business AI agents are acting on behalf of your team, and this already exists. This is nothing new. Like, this isn't revolutionary right now. It's already there. Embedding AI in your enterprise systems, increasing regulation and compliance requirements, and heightened expectation around data governance. Now, this conversation will become wider as more organizations start using AI. So I did an interview the other day with AI, and I was a little surprised because honestly, I thought it would be predetermined questions and it would have been very robotic. But it was almost I was having a conversation with a human being. It was looking at the things I had in my profile, saying, "Oh, Michelle, I see you have experience in this." It felt like I was talking to a human. So as those things roll out more, what you're going to find is that the governance is going to be needed, the regulation and the compliance, but you want to be ahead of the game. You want to start thinking about, how can I do that right now as I am rolling out AI in my company, and not wait until things fall apart. So if this capability becomes standard in your industry 18 to 24 months from now, what happens if you are late? Which is what I was just saying. You don't want to be late to the game. You want to be ahead, go into the go through the gate, look at the field, kind of test things out. And this is what this opportunity gives you. It affords you to be able to do that. So start with your business. You're developing your AI strategy. You want to start with your business and not the technology. And what do I mean by that? You want to think about, where are you losing money or time or momentum? So where is it that decision making is taking a while? Where is it that because we're losing money because we're hiring all these resources, or we have all these tools and systems, but it's creating some kind of bottleneck? You want to ask yourself the question. That is what enables you to make strategic decisions and not just purchase a list of tools. Somebody told you about this new AI, let's purchase it. It's going to help us with taking meeting notes or recording our meetings. But you want to think about that. And as I talk about meetings, I remember in corporate days as well, we used to record the meetings, and then someone had to listen to those meetings. That was such a painstaking activity for the persons who had to do it. I would hear the complaints all the time. But no, you're able to record your meetings, and AI is able to give you a summary of all your action items. So what would have taken 4 days is literally taking less than 10 minutes after the meeting has ended. So those are the things you want to think about and get the feedback from your clients. Now, if you had joined us earlier in the challenge, when we looked at assessing our past performance, one of the things we talked about was what worked and what didn't work. You can pull from that. You can pull from your strengths and your SWOT analysis and use it now to say, are there any tools or applications out there that can support us as we move forward? What decisions are slow, inconsistent, and reactive? That's another question that you want to ask yourself. Because then if you are taking a while to make decision about your budgeting for the next 3 years, it means that, okay, you're waiting on someone to provide you with the data in order for you to make a decision. That's a cue that this is a part of our business process that we could improve. And you don't even know if the AI tools exist, but once you identify the challenge, that is when now we go off and do the research and come back to you with some applications that you're able to use to close those gaps. Where do we have human bottlenecks that limits our ability to scale? Yesterday I was talking with someone, and we were talking about where the organization was in terms of it being at this level now where there is a bottleneck and it needs to grow further. And we're talking about that's where a lot of organizations get to, and that is when the org chart now expands. So if you realize that you're having some kind of bottleneck and you can't scale here, what is causing that bottleneck and what can we use to support it? And it doesn't have to be AI. I'm just using these questions as prompts that will help you to make decisions on what applications you use, and you're very focused and strategic about it and not taking on a list of tools. Do we have any questions so far? Remember, feel free to drop your questions in the comment field. I will pause and answer as we go through. What risk increase as you grow? That's another question that you want to ask yourself. So AI should solve your business constraints and not create more complexity. And complexity comes about when when you don't have a structure, and when everybody is doing their own thing and operating in silos, as we said earlier. So is your organization ready for AI? These are some ways that you can check. On the people side, are your leaders and teams ready? Do they know what exists? And I want you to also think of the fact that you're not operating from a feelings, emotional, let me say emotional standpoint. Why am I saying this? When we say, are your leaders and teams ready, persons automatically think that, okay, this tool is coming to take over my job and I will no longer have employment. That may be true for some roles. And that is why I encourage, if you are in charge of human resource, this is a conversation that you should also be having, AI and human resource. You should have already have a strategy that would have come about from 5 years ago. If I'm being honest, if you're just doing it, you're a bit late, but you can still get it done. It's still important. You would have developed a strategy that identified in your organization the roles that can be optimized. You want to be having conversation with those team members so they know what is coming. It doesn't mean they lose their job. It could mean that these are persons who wanted to be in a different role anyway, and you have an opportunity to cross train and move them into the role that they want to, if that's possible. If not, you let them know, 5 years from now, this role won't exist. Let's help you to think about your career planning. Human resource is not just about hiring and firing and making payments on that specific date for salary. It's managing the human element in your organization. Also, if it is that this tool is not going to take away your job, it's enhancing it. So as we said earlier, if you're doing the finances, you may realize that when I complete the numbers, I have to do the analysis. AI can help you with the analysis, and you're doing the interpretation. For me, I did a lot of presentation. AI could have helped me with that. I can't tell you how many hours I have spent trying to get oh my god, the type of the various diagrams so the presentation would come to life and look good. Now I can have that conversation with AI and I can give it an idea of what I'm expecting, and it will create it for me. So it now allows me to do more value added work and not doing more task driven work, if that makes sense. So you want to think about, if teams are afraid of AI, if teams are afraid AI will replace them, adoption will fail. And that's what I just was sharing with you. If no one owns AI, the usage now becomes chaotic. So if persons are afraid of jumping into it because it's going to take over their jobs, then the implementation is going to fail. And that's why you need a strategy and a plan for it. You're able to assess this if your leaders understand what AI can and cannot do. Your teams are clear that AI is a support tool and not a threat. And you want to have someone who's accountable. The same way you have persons in your organization who owns the internet usage. They're setting up firewalls. They're watching to see what you're clicking on. You have things that are set up to block. Well, that's what firewalls are. You want to think about that for AI as much as possible. Your processes, do you have clarity before automation? This, guys, is important in just about anything you are doing. Rubbish in, rubbish out. If 3 people handle a client onboarding process differently, your AI implementation is going to amplify that confusion and not create efficiency. So you want to streamline your process, and you're thinking, okay, how are we going to get that done? You want to ask it. Maybe you don't have that issue, but if you are not sure, you want to ask yourself the questions. Are your workflows clearly defined? Do people do tasks the same way, or are they doing it their own way? Because if you're going to be overlapping that with an enterprise system, it means it's just going to be more chaotic. You want to spend some time documenting what you already do, so AI now is making it more flows in a more seamless way. Can you explain workflows from start to finish? Sit and have those conversations. And that is why this is not a one day implementation, because you want to check and see where in your business you want to improve, and then you're using AI to do that. On the system side, is your data and technology usable? If reports are already delayed or unreliable, AI will not magically make them better. So if you're providing monthly reports, if you're providing sales numbers, they are not always accurate. If I ask you for the same period of information, the same information for today, and you give me tomorrow, can I trust the numbers? You want to fix those things first before you overlay AI on it. So, is your data accurate? Those are some questions you want to ask yourself. Are your systems connected or are they siloed? And can you trust the reports that you're using? AI is not going to fix that. You want to ask yourself those questions as you're moving into AI. And you're thinking, okay, Michelle, this sounds like a lot of things that we need to do, but why does it matter? It ensures that you are focused with implementation. You get faster results. It's just the same as when we are doing our planning. Planning, it takes time. We've been doing this for 27 days. 1 or 2 days we have broken and given some other ideas about how you can succeed in the coming year. But when you take the time to plan, your implementation is better, it's more accurate, it feels more seamless, it's more focused, it's more strategic, it's more tied to your business goals, and that is what you want in the end, right? So focus implementation, faster results, higher ROI, and control change. You know what is coming, you know what's happening in your business, and as such, you can move ahead, in unison. Do we have any questions, guys? And let me know. And thank you so much for coming on. I know we've been going for a while, and if you've been with me from day one, I hope that you've been doing your daily homework. What does it prevent? We spoke about what it ensures. What does it prevent? Buying too many tools, and we touched on this earlier. We don't want you to be operating in silos. We don't want you to have a long list of AI tools, wasting money, frustration from failed adoption, and leadership losing trust in AI once you're doing it in a very structured way. Because remember, think about it as if the same way if you're implementing you're doing a project. You have a team, you're having conversation, you're testing, it's working, it's not working. So it's the very same way that you're going to be approaching this. So we touched on governance and AI earlier, and I want to just quickly share with you before we wrap up why it matters. No, you're thinking about the privacy of your data. I know this is a concern that some organizations have, where I can't upload my financial statements in an AI tool, or I don't want to upload my presentation, or I don't want to overlay AI on our system enterprise because of security reasons. No, when you're implementing AI in your organization in a strategic way, you're having a governance conversation, because you're talking about what is at risk. You're talking about your brand and your reputational risk, regulatory compliance, data security and privacy, and bias and decision transparency. You want to make sure that all of those things are covered when you're going through in developing your strategy. And what it looks like, you have clear user guidelines, approval and escalation paths, defined ownership, and ongoing monitoring and reviewing. And if you've been with us again, this is no different from how we develop our strategy. It's the same framework, and that is why I wanted to have this conversation at this point in time in our challenge, because I want you to be reminded that it's not that you're doing something different. This is just something that is becoming more common in organizations, and you want to have a structured way of approaching it, because everyone has their phone and they're using it, and you want to allow persons the freedom and the latitude to do it while not putting the organization at risk. So let's develop your AI roadmap. What do you need to have on it? You need to prioritize your business outcomes. First of all, we touched on it earlier. You want to save time, you're increasing customer experience, you're increasing revenue, you name it. So you want to prioritize your outcomes. Phase rollout. You're going to pilot first, you're going to scale, and then you're going to embed. When you're piloting, that's when you're having your meetings, you're testing to see what is working for us, are the reports accurate? Did it improve our customer experience? Did it save us time? Were we able to make decisions quicker? Those are some things that you want to do in the pilot phase. Then you are talking about investment and resource planning. Now you have completed it. You are now deciding this is what we're going to be investing in, and we need resources. You need resources initially, and then you can phase and see how it goes in the future. Capability development and training. Some organizations are training their team on AI. I encourage you to take this on. It's important. If it is that you control the training, you are hiring someone to do the training, it means that at an organization level, you are way more in control of what is happening inside your organization, what people are exposed to, you name it. You want to make sure that you're paying attention to that and have KPIs and you're measuring the impact. You're not just spending money and implementing this tool. And when we say AI, guys, AI is more than ChatGPT. Let me just say that. I think sometimes every time we say AI, people think about ChatGPT. You another session, it would take another session to even talk about the applications that exist that can help your organization to be better. You present the challenge that you have, and we will propose to you the tool that you can use. So what does success look like? You reduce operational friction, you have better forecasting and accuracy, stronger customer experience as we shared earlier, and you have your clear ROI and reduction. So as we close, I want you to remember that your AI strategy is not about adopting technology. You're future proofing your business. There are companies right now who are sitting and doing exactly what I'm sharing with you today. They probably have developed this 5 years ago, maybe 10 years, 10, 15 years ago, 10, maybe let me say 10 years ago, we developed a oh my God, the digital strategy because we were in the digital world and we knew things were coming. No, you need an AI strategy because it's not that it's coming, it's already here. Know that it is here and you know what is out and you know what is available. How can this now have a positive impact on your business? And your leaders need structured, disciplined approach. So they're not testing things on their own and putting your organization at risk. It's structured, it's disciplined, you know what you're going to be using and you're going after that. So this work requires cross-functional alignment and your executives need to understand I own this, and as such this is how it's going to look for our organization. So that's what I wanted to share with you today in terms of what your AI strategy would look like. And if you are thinking about AI beyond just experimenting, I want you to have a conversation with me. If you want alignment, governance, and even all the things that we spoke about today, this is strategic work and it requires partnership. And I want you to approach it that way and not think about trial and error. Go ahead and I have a barcode on the screen, but I will also drop my calendar link in the comments so that you can book your call if it is that you have questions. So there is my calendar link, and you can always send me a DM as well. So any questions as we wrap up? Because I really want you to remember that because AI is here, you want to have a plan, which is what I am all about, having a plan. So you don't think of, oh, let me grab this. I don't want you to have a list of AI tools. I want you to be very clear about how you're focusing on AI going in the future for your business, and you're choosing the tools that can give you the impact based on your business goals. And those would have been the goals that we worked on over the past few weeks. If it is that you didn't join, but you already know that you have some business goals that you need support with, it can also support you with that. And that's what we want you to think of. So that's it for AI strategy this week. We're winding down. We're now at day 27. So we have 3 more days to go. And I really do hope that you've been doing the work. If not, you still have some time to catch up Our videos were not that long, so therefore you had some time to, go ahead and complete the assignment. So just before we go, two questions that I have here. Um, do leaders clearly understand what AI can realistically help us with today? Sometimes they don't, I would say, but that's why we're doing this work. If you're able to understand the goals that you have, then you're able to see what AI tool can help. Okay, it was basically the same questions. Okay. All right. So thank you guys for coming on. I'll see you again tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're watching the repeat, thank you so much. Go ahead and also leave a comment. And I'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. I'm Michelle O'Connor, your business growth strategist. Bye.